CYIA stands for Christian Youth in Action. It's a ministry of Child Evangelism Fellowship whose goal is to reach boys and girls with the gospel of Christ. And CYIA's purpose is to train teens, Christian teens, how to do this. It's a 2-week program that's basically divided into 2 parts. The first week is the training week, where we spend a lot of time in the classroom learning each aspect of the 5-day club, which is the means that we use to present the gospel to children. So the first week, we guide you through each step of how to do a 5-day club, how to present a Bible lesson, how to share the gospel through that Bible lesson. And then the second week, we actually go out into the community here in Kansas and put on 5-day clubs to reach children for Christ. Typical day in Christian Youth in Action would begin with waking up about 7 o'clock, getting a good meal. We have lots of good meals here, excellent cooking staff. And then we start the day together in chapel each morning with one of the staff members sharing something from God's Word, getting us all on track, trying to turn our hearts to the importance of the gospel in our lives so that we can value it, we can cherish it, we can understand it, and then have the heart needed to go out and reach the children. After chapel, we then move downstairs to the classroom, where we spend the whole morning in the classroom learning, going through each of the steps necessary to learn how to present the gospel. Then we break for lunch and get back to the classroom after lunch for more classes. But after classes in the afternoon, we take a break. We all go to recreation, where we spend time each day getting out, kicking the ball around. Usually soccer is the game of choice. But just to get some of the stress out, get some of the energy that's been cooped up in our bodies all day out.
Personally, I think that soccer is most beneficial just because it's most active.
Definitely. Games like soccer, dare base, we do dodgeball sometimes. Stuff like that is really nice to get up and move after spending so much time in the classroom.
Dodgeball is great after a very stressful day, I'm telling you. I mean, it's just, deadlines just leave your mind as you're throwing that ball.
Oh, it's way too much fun. We do all kinds of stuff to relieve stress and just get out and move around.
It's beyond what we needed.
After recreation, we then all get together for dinner, and again, the food is excellent here. Everybody always loves it, raves about it as they're leaving. And then we'll have a couple classes in the evening, and then we'll get together as a group for fellowship time, which is always a lot of fun. Luke, my brother, usually is in charge of planning that, and he usually comes up with some really, really fun games.
My name is Luke Myers, and I'm responsible for this Fellowship 2015 CYIA. There's a great history of fellowship games. Nobody's ever heard of them before they came to CYIA, but we love them. And so each year, we try to add as many interesting, fun, new twists, a couple games that I made up myself, and it's always a blast.
After fellowship time, there's free time in the evenings. You're free to do whatever you feel like doing. There's a gymnasium here. A lot of people will play another game of soccer in the evening. And then at the end of free time, we get together in the guys' dorms, and the gals and the girls' dorms for devotions. And the dorm leaders lead in devotions each night, which is a really encouraging time for students.
Every night in the guys' dorms, we just have devotions just to encourage the guys in various subjects, whether it be rising to manhood, chivalry, respecting women, various things. We just try to encourage them to be the best men that they can, usually the night before, just so that we can encourage them the next morning to spend as much time they can before the classes begin to be with God. And then also, as they go throughout the day, they remember these lessons and take them home with them.
One of my favorite things as a student in CYA and now as a staff is the time that we have in the afternoons or evenings right before bed where we all get around and we have devotions. And as a student, I remember those times that my dorm mom would just talk to me about from God's Word what God's view of a woman is and what it means to be a godly woman. And now as a staff member, I try to do the same thing with my girls in my dorm room. And it's just a blessing and to have all the girls in the same state of mind coming together and being able to talk about how God views them and how He wants us to live as godly women in this world.
We have a great group of staff that helps out here. Most of them at one point were a CYA student themselves, so they know exactly where each student is coming from. They know how to step in, help them with their work, answer their questions, demonstrate things for them if we have some visual learners who need to see it. It's a great group of staff. I've been thankful for how God's brought students and then raise them up, and now they're wanting to invest in the next generation with the very same things that they learned. The second week, we take the training that we've learned and we actually go out and put it to use. Going out to the various places in Newton and Wichita and present the gospel through the 5-day clubs. After the 5-day clubs, we'll all gather back here at the church and have a time of just sharing what it is that God's done, sharing how He worked in the club, sharing prayer requests for what we need Him for, what we want Him to be working and doing in these clubs. So it's an encouraging time. It's an encouraging time sharing what He's done. It's also an encouraging time expressing needs and coming together as a group and praying about the needs that we see in these 5-day clubs. It's definitely a fun-filled 2 weeks of training, but it's an awesome opportunity to see God work, to see God grow you and stretch you in ways that maybe you never imagined possible. I personally am always excited to see how, at the beginning of the training, to see how God takes a student and from the beginning of a training to the end completely reshapes how they view the gospel, completely reshapes their confidence in going out and sharing the gospel. And then seeing them come back year after year, and many of them coming on staff and serving. It's an awesome privilege to be able to see God's work at youth, at teens, through this training.